June 11th, 2018. Trials Rising is announced at E3, and to come with that, there's a trailer to boot. Now, I've already talked all about the trailer, I've played the game, so why am I bringing this up? Well, during this time, between June 11th and the 29th of June, members of the Trials Easter egg forums for Rising started to use coordinates found from the trailer themselves to travel down to a location that was found somewhere in America from just basically the start of these signs. Now, this might seem like a huge sort of jump in logic, however, it's not too far to imagine, as there was a crazy Riddle, ARG, whatever you want to call it, in a game also made by Riddle, also in the Trials series called Trials Evolution. Now, if you want to watch a video that explains that, Professor Fatshady or University of Trials does a great video on that, and I'll leave that somewhere in the corner just for you to click on, just so maybe watch that, get up to speed with what's going on, and yeah, hopefully I can explain to you the Riddle in Rising this year. Fast forward to release on February 26th, and I'm thinking, is there even a riddle in this game? Nothing was found. Now, you'd think, well, if there was a riddle in Trials Evolution, why wouldn't there be one in Trials Rising? Well, see, I'd think that as well. However, Trials Fusion was severely lacking in any riddle. If there was a riddle, no one bothered to solve it. So I was thinking, is there anything in Rising? I found absolutely nothing. Nobody else could find anything. March 18th, 2019. Trials tuber TeeHill uploads a video. Trials Rising Easter egg, Riddle, Pripyat, 3 buttons, a portal guide. Now you can click on this here, but basically I'm going to just show you a video of what this portal was. This is taken from my own recording, and I'll just show you the method. But basically this sparked a hunt for portals. He also uploaded another riddle, courtesy of him, Chinese Cliffs, 4 Orbs and the Portal Guide, and I'll basically show you how to quickly get the portal in this. And then finally another video called the Trials Rising Easter Egg Riddle Temple of Trials portal, and this is somewhat similar to the last 2 portals, however slightly different, and I'll explain that later. The discovery of these 2 portals let the community in on the idea that there was indeed some sort of riddle going on Trials Rising, which was exciting to hear, as we haven't had anything since Evolution. There was some very small sort of allude to a riddle infusion with a weird Easter egg to do with the void, and I'll show you that very quickly now. It turned out that there was 4 rooms to find. There was blue, which was Chinese cliffs, green, which was Pripyat, and then a rumoured red and yellow room, which were both unknown at this time. However, we had an idea that the colours were both red and yellow because of the flames in the Temple of Trials room, which I'll show you very quickly now. So, there was one final room which was widely believed to require the inputs found from each portal room. Now, this room was actually the Temple of Trials room, and this later was discovered that we did need inputs. However, this is much later into the hunt. Let's go back a little bit to March 19, 2019. TeeHill uploads another video, which is Trials Rising, Easter Egg Riddle, MX in the City, polls with height markers. Now, I'll briefly just describe this video, but you can also watch it yourself. I'm going to put all of these videos in the description, but it basically is that there are height markers on one of the tracks called MX in the City, and basically people were suggesting that if you get to the top of all the height markers, something might happen. However, currently, as of the recording of this video, nothing has been found. We don't know if there's anything on this track as of yet, but if you are a Trials fan and you do want to get involved in the riddle, you could try looking on that, and if you find anything, always let the Discord know, which will be sort of in the bottom of the description. So what was actually special about these rooms? I know I've talked about them enough, but why are they so significant? Well, each room would play a different musical note over a drum. I believe it was 4 musical notes in one room, and it would prompt players to look at the sound, and people used all sorts of methods, spectral analysis, people looking at DMTF tones, which I'll get into later. So after the first 2 rooms, everyone put down that the next 2 rooms were going to be revealed in the next DLC, because everyone had searched that every single track for any of these portals, and nothing was found. So everyone just put it down to the DLC. This caused the hunt to stagnate quite a lot. On 16th of April 2019, Route 66 DLC was released. The Riddle Hunters searched all around these tracks for any clues about another portal or 2, and nothing was found. Not a hint, not nothing. Finally, on the 30th of April, Twitch streamer and member of the Trials community finds a strange glowing lead block in a texture. This must be, surely, a portal room. This was on the track Along the Mother Road, which was a DLC track. This confirmed our suspicions, or so we thought, that this was going to be Red Portal. However, on the 1st of May, Fabel actually asked the creative director of Riddling's, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his second name, but there it is, if it was actually indeed a riddle, clue, or a mistake. Now, Anti confirms that it is actually indeed a mistake object, which is quite unusual. However, he leaves a cryptic clue to look at the track editor through the form of this message here. This is actually quite relevant, because in the Transfusion games, one other thing that semi-related to the riddle was the discovery of a 5th key, now virtually found in the map editor. Now, if you've watched the University of Trials video, you'll understand the story behind the 4 keys, so again, I recommend you watch that. I'm probably not going to go too into it, I'm just going to say it's important, you kind of need to know this. Also, on the 1st of May, cave paintings were found on the Squirrel mini-task on Petrified Forest. The importance of them is currently unknown, but here's just a few of the sort of images that the Riddle community have found. Nothing happens for over a month. Now, on the 26th of June, this is where everything begins to sort of fall into place. The next few days were a very exciting time to be a part of. Now, on stream, Fabel and Bradders77 find a ramp on Ruined Run, and they find it quite suspicious because it has what is known as a camera freeze in Trials, which suggests that something must be there. So a quick look in the editor reveals that there is actually an X mark there, quite literally an X marks the spot. However, there is no portal method found. Until Twitch user Jitters asked Fabel to demonstrate his findings. As he does so, the portal opens. This was discovered completely by accident. Here's the clip of Fabel finding it.
Right, I was just laying here, looking at chat. Yeah, thanks to Jitters. What are we talking about? I'll show you. There's a cross down here. I can make my way across here. Wait, what?
After some investigating, Fable and the chat figure out you needed exactly 143 to get the portal to open, which was actually, ironically, the exact number Fable had. Had this event not happened, we may never, or it would have took us much longer to find Yellow Room. Fable also leaves this tweet to Auntie, and then a user then replies, blink twice if the red room is in Asia. Auntie replies with this image, which is seemingly another hint. 2 days pass and Fable finds where to get the numbers 143, which were the numbers to open the portal, remember. So actually the method was that there were small numbers left across the map on that track. The hunt for the final room began. On the 30th of June, Brothers, Fable and TeeHill all begin to look at notes in the room. TeeHill seems to find hidden DMTF tones, however this was later debunked as it turns out he was accidentally generating them through Audacity, which was actually found ironically because people figured out that the DMTF tones spelled out the words Audacity. Fable looks a bit deeper into Auntie's seemingly pointless image. The image is actually of a pyramid called Fushun Lake Pyramid. Further investigation, also known as intense Wikipedia skimming, only the best of sources, tell us it may have actually been part of the lost kingdom known as the Dayan Kingdom. Now why is this relevant? Well, it's actually important because apparently the Dayan people were non-Chinese metalworking tribes. Okay, what's so interesting about that? Well, it just so happened that there were actually two non-Chinese metalworking tracks very close called Red Steel and Wheels of Steel. However, this was widely speculation at the time, so it couldn't really be narrowed down just yet. Fable continued to search Red Room on both tracks, however nothing was found. Then on Discord, Nova Darkstorm comments that you can actually press RB on the consoles to light them up. I have no idea how no one found this, but maybe we were all just silly. After a bit of speculation, a pattern was formed to make all the lights on the three consoles light up. The code is apparently 535. So here's the method of how you actually do it, and I'll just basically tell you how you do it. So you have to go to the first one and press 5 times on your RB button. You have to go to the second console and press your RB button 3 times, and you have to go to the final console and press it once again 5 more times. You'll get a little ding that will tell you that the code is confirmed. Once the portal appears, you have to bail out and continually press Y to sort of glitch across part of the track, which will let you fall into a pipe. All the rooms were finally found. Now, what did this mean? So players actually decoded these 4 music notes and figured out that the inputs was G to up, C to right, D being down and E being left, which could be used on a controller as a D-pad input. This was first found by Nova Darkstorm in the Discord. With some team community effort, we figured out that the input was actually this on screen. I'm not going to try and pronounce this because I will try and confuse myself. This actually reveals something quite interesting and crazy. Not 1, but 2 equations displayed here. Now what did this all mean? Well, we don't actually know as of yet. However, it seemed like the first equation may have been Drake's equation. However, there are some inconsistencies with that, which I'll go into detail in a later video if anything else is discovered. Nova suggests ideas about star locations, which is still being debated to this day. Okay, I was gonna upload this video, but These past 2 days have been pretty crazy. Now on the 1st of July, just as everyone thinks that all the in-game riddle solving seems to be over, Discord user eAxis made an incredible find in the DLC track across the canyon. This was his original Discord post here. This prompted players to realise that there might actually be something in the DLC after all, or maybe something that could have been added after an update. Not 10 minutes later, Discord user Finn points out how there is a tandem bike logo on a part of a broken pillar on the track, Rocky Mountaineer. This prompts Fabel and Brothers to team up over Discord to investigate it. Sure enough, once they reached the pillar and waited, another piece of this complicated puzzle was actually revealed.
Now what?
I'll just wait here for a while, shall I? Oh!
Oh! Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Finn also discovered a golden bird on the track Petrified Forest. Following this, TeeHill bailed and grabbed the bird at around 1:40 to reveal yet another clue, which is displayed here. Not content with 3 whole clues, K10 the Beast makes a discovery on Ghost Town. Now, this is a little tricky to explain, but if you wait about a minute on the track, a blue orb will appear wherever you are on the track. There is a small audio cue, so I'm thinking that this must have been added in after an update. But this basically leads to a catch and chase sequence, and then finally on the last orb catch, it will reveal this. Now, we don't actually know what any of this means, because that's everything so far, at least we think, in this. There could be something massive hidden that could be found next week for all I know. This leaves us with one big question though. What does it all mean? Well, as I've said, we don't know yet. However, there is a strong feeling towards the idea that this is actually different historical people. Specifically scientists, or people that have made incredible scientific discoveries. People such as Frank Drake, which has been discovered from the temple, as I said, going back to the Drake's equation. Then Sophus Lee, Edwin Hubble, but there's probably more to be discovered, especially in the next DLC that's going to come out. There's probably even more pieces of the riddle hidden on other tracks, with methods that we haven't even dreamed to find. So if you have trials, search the hard as you can. The community needs as much help as it can get. What will the end result actually be? We don't know. I don't know. No one knows, apart from Auntie. However, we have a feeling it could leak into another real-world treasure hunt. As I said, going back to the University of Trials video, it could relate to the discovery of the 5th key, the real 5th key, not the one from Fusion, a real 5th key. And I wouldn't be too surprised. Maybe this is another code similar to Evolution. We need to put people's names in order. There are so many possible things. Auntie himself has said something to do with bubble sort. Could that be a clue? We don't know. However, every day people are starting to discover, piece together new clues, and we just need to keep looking. We need to not give up in this hunt, because the second we give up, we don't find anything, and then the first time we realised that there was indeed something, the hunt began again after stagnating after so long, and suddenly we found so much in a week. And if we just keep at that pace, we will find so much. We need to just look everywhere. And I can't encourage anybody enough to go out there. But just honestly, please, if you have trials currently, just look and get involved in the community. The Discord, as always, will be below. And just please join the hunt, because it's probably going to be interesting. I'm going to be uploading this video sometime around early July. So, as I said, hopefully this is out moderately soon and I haven't just delayed it by about 9 months. Let's hope. All jokes aside though, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I'm definitely going to be looking at this in more detail in the future when more stuff is discovered with DLC coming out. There will definitely most likely be a video coming out after the DLC if something is found. Not only that, I also want to look into making case files a proper full-on video, series. There were a bunch of ARGs. I've always took an interest in ARG style riddle, solving game inside a game, whatever you want to call it. I've always taken an interest in that side of things, and it'd be really nice to just do a commentary on it. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video, and yeah, keep searching, and I wish you luck.